It's unlistenable in a very particular way that I honestly never even thought was possible. The song just straight up has nothing that makes the song...
Man, I spoke way too soon last time.
There's no harmonization.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Music Den. I'm Kumerai Fang, and 2017 was actually a good year.
It's not good enough for me since I've been with you.
The double agent came back, which was fucking awesome. Also, despite the identity crisis going on, 2017 has been a lot better for pop music. I don't know where it's gonna take us in 2018, but I can easily say that the best songs were better than last year. I was more excited about making this video than I was making my worst list. These songs were just so refreshing to hear. It's just a relief not to have slim pickings to choose from. Before we begin, let's just review the guidelines. In order for a song to qualify, they have to land on the Billboard Hot 100 anywhere between December of last year and November of this year. Also, since some songs in 2016 can count as hits in 2017's, they qualify so long as they were released after July 1st of last year. Alright, let's get to what you guys came for. These are my top 10 best hit songs of 2017. Number 10!
And if you feel you're sinking, I will jump right over it.
In my opinion, picking a song to start a list is actually a lot harder than picking a song to end it. You're cherry picking out of your top 10, you're trying to figure out which one's the strongest, and you're not really sure what you can say to justify that particular song being lower than all the other ones. That's why I look back at my best list for last year and I say, Cold Water really shouldn't have made the list. What I learned since last year is that your number 10 should set the stage for the other songs that surpassed it. If you can't praise a song more than criticize it, it shouldn't be near the list. This year I made sure to choose a song that I loved, and boy am I happy it's here.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. I've been feeling it since 1966. Happy over and now.
Not that this century should shock anybody, glad to see the Indie Fluke sweepstakes make a comeback, even if it is by a commercial. Which is very sad when you think about it. Really glad I don't watch TV. I can't get hit with this the way other people do. Back in the fall, I discussed many of the reasons I love this song. From the bass, to the horns, to the pitch-shifted vocals. They're all fucking awesome, and that's before the chorus that always manages to make me dance in my seat.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks.
Mind you, this is just going over some of the production elements. I could mention the clapping and the synths, but I'm more interested in the vocals, actually. Falsetto aside, John Garley carries the tune rather well, managing to keep it fun while also giving me chills here and there. Even then, though, I'd like to answer one specific question.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. Yeah,
What's a rebel just for kicks?
A rebel just for kicks is the guy who's gonna go out and tell you the truth about politics and tell you the truth about religion, but he's also not gonna vote because he doesn't trust government.
As much as I don't want to bring politics into this, I don't think anyone's a rebel just for kicks now. And when you stop and think about it, the fact that this song was used for a commercial, I'm not sure if Portugal the Man qualify as rebels. At least they gave us a good song.
feel it still. In your eyes, there's a heavy blue.
Number 9.
And want to lose, sweet divine.
Sorry, I'm a bit out of practice with this, so I kind of wanted to warm up before, sorry, just play it.
Wicked or weakness, you gotta see this.
Yeah, yeah!
Hey, I remember syrup sandwiches and crime allowances. Finesse a nigga with some counterfeits, but now I'm counting this.
A lot of people agree that this is a good song. Not a lot needs to be said about it, and not a lot can be said about it. This is basic bragging and dissing, which is nothing new. What can be said about it? Well, it's one of the few rap hits I've heard that has the rapper on the hook.
Bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. humble.
Not only that, but it's also a very repetitive hook. Something that would bug me if Kendrick weren't trying and if Mike Will made it didn't change up his production tactics.
Be humble. Sit
Oh my god, Kendrick, what did you do to Mike Will Made It?
A question we will never know the answer to, but I'm not complaining. The beat stands out, it actually has presence to it, which is more than what I can say about, well, most every song I've heard Mike Will Made It produce. Most of the production centers around these harsh-sounding piano chords, which are just infectious.
I'm the realest nigga after all, bitch. Be humble. Bitch. Sit down.
They fit with Kendrick's delivery, which has more punch and power to it than most rap songs I've heard this year. It's actually very refreshing to hear. Now, for those of you die-hard hip-hop fans who are going to tell me that this is not the best quality Kendrick song, please know that I completely agree with you. Even as far as bragging and dissing goes, he's done a lot better than this.
Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Coulter, everybody wanna cut the legs off. King Coulter.
Way better, in fact. Regardless, Humble was a rap song I needed on the pop charts, and I'm glad it gave Kendrick another solo hit of his own. NumberEight! If you told me this time last year that one of the worst singers of the last few years was actually gonna make my best list, I would not have believed you, but when 2017 rolled in, all of a sudden, really terrible artists decided, hey, I wanna make good music! And man, did they deliver. The combination of Camila Cabello and Young Thug really shouldn't work, but here they are. Camila sounds barely any different here than she has on any of the prior songs I've heard her on, but the difference here is that the production actually works with her voice. It's fleshed out and creates this smooth sound that gives Camila a solid foundation for her vocals to stand on. And at the same time, it doesn't overpower her either, giving her just enough presence but also enough support so she doesn't sound annoying. Everything works to this song's favor, from the dark piano chords to the plastic sounding percussion, which surprisingly fits. Not to mention the backup vocals from both Camila Cabello and from Pharrell. Now, where I consider Young Thug the weakest link in this song, and where I definitely prefer a second verse from Camila before he'd come on, I'm not gonna lie, I've actually grown to really love his performance.
Jeffrey, just graduated fresh on campus.
From what I've gathered from fans of his, Young Thug actually uses his voice more as an instrument than he does as something to add lyrical context to a song. And when I looked at his verse that way, I began to enjoy it actually, a lot more than I thought I would. Although not as much as I enjoy those gorgeous horns before the final chorus. That sold me. This song is awesome, and I hope Camila keeps going in this direction actually. It really suits her. Only thing that would be even better than this is Pharrell having a comeback of his own. That would have been. Oh, that's right, he had one. Sweet! Well, to start, let's... RMC?
Kumerai, why didn't you play the transition?
Because Pharrell's in the song?
And you can just do that?
Well, yeah, RMC, it's my video. And besides, why jump to a transition if I'm already talking about Pharrell, and I'm gonna be talking about him again in the next rank?
I don't know, consistency?
You don't need a transition to be consistent, RMC. It's only a problem if it interrupts the flow of your video.
Nothing ever lasts forever, no.
And speaking of flow, I can't tell you how much I've missed Pharrell's voice. He has this energy and life to his delivery that I can't help but smile at when I hear him. He's just an amazing singer, and the way he carries this tune is just absolutely gorgeous.
If I still a kiss, a little souvenir, can I steal it from you?
The premise premise of the song, from what I can tell, is about a friends with benefits relationship, and basically saying they shouldn't be afraid to fall in love with each other. And Pharrell captures the feelings of bliss, excitement, and carefree spirit all in his delivery. I feel every ounce of sincerity when I hear him.
Goddamn, I know you love to make an entrance. Do you like getting paid or getting paid attention?
And speaking of people on their verses, it feels so good to like a song with Big Sean on it.
What, you haven't heard Bounce Back this year?
Oh, I've heard it. I just don't like it.
How?
Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Wake up every morning, by the night I count stacks.
It was one of the better rap songs this year. How do you not like it?
Well, it has nothing to do with Big Sean, I'll tell you that. I just don't like the sound of it. Bounce Back is dark and dreary, which if not for certain elements in its production, wouldn't really bother me. But they're there and they just rub me the wrong way. Feels, on the other hand, is more smooth and has this nice funk bass for Big Sean to work off of. Combine that with the strumming guitar as well as the ad-libs from both him and Pharrell, it's one of the best songs I've heard him on. That's not to say it's just Big Sean's verse that sounds good. Calvin Harris's production has taken one giant step up.
I came through in the clutch, more than lipsticks and phones. Wore your fave cologne just to get you alone.
I would go as far to say that this is one of his best produced songs to date.
Was he really that bad before this? This is kinda boring.
Yeah, I know.
Hang on, it feels as such a big improvement. Why is it only at number 7?
Well, how do I put this? I'm not a fan of everyone on this song.
Don't be afraid to catch fish.
Yeah, Katy Perry is handling the hook and she's not terrible. I definitely prefer her here than on her other songs from this year. But no matter how much I enjoy bobbing my head to this song, she's just not even trying here. There's no passion in Katy's delivery. She's passing her lines in this chorus, which is not what a summer love song calls for. And since she has the hook, the song lost some points. It's still a great song, don't get me wrong. She just kind of ruins the vibe a little.
Right. I think I can see that.
That's good, I'm glad. Hey RMC,
Yeah?
where the hell are you? I need your input for Hot 100 ranked when I talk about tunnel vision. Hello? RMC? Damn it!
Dance with me. I've been running through the jungle. I've been running with the wolves
NumberSix!
to get to you. I've been down the darkest alleys.
You've been running around, throwing that dirt all on my name. I know that dress is karma, perfume regret.
Okay, I give up!
You just want attention, you don't want my heart. Baby, you just hate the thought of me with.
You and Pooth, you're on the best list. I hope you're happy. Honestly though, what can I say about Attention that I haven't said in 2 previous videos? I like the bass line, I like the rest of the instrumentation, I like the lyrics, and I haven't talked much about Pooth's vocal delivery, have I? Alright, let's get this out of the way. Every critic and their mother can agree that Charlie's not a great vocalist. He's particularly bad when he goes for that falsetto of his, something he abandons almost as quickly as you hear it on this song.
You've been running around, throwing that dirt all on my name.
In his middle range, Pooth's delivery is much stronger and manages to have presence to it. Aside from not having to strain his voice, he's actually able to project some personality into his delivery. It's bitter and nervous, and considering the premise of the song being about an even more bitter ex that's stalking him, it kinda fits.
You just want attention, you don't want my heart.
Believe it or not, the bass in the chorus actually manages to make Pooth's falsetto easy to sit through.
I know that dress is karma, perfume regret. You got me thinking about when you were mine.
Yeah, even this part works. It sounds like a moment of exhaustion, which offers the song a chance to slow down before the big blow-up chorus before the bridge. On that note, there are actually several moments in the song where Pooth's voice has multi-tracking on it.
But you're not coming home with me tonight. You already know that you want. What are you doing to me? What are you doing?
And they are all amazing, but the final chorus chorus is particularly satisfying.
Yeah, you just want attention. I knew from the start.
So yeah, this song's awesome. Good job, Charlie. I never thought I'd say that to you. Number 5.
What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers?
God, this is underwhelming. This is the same woman who wrote Dear Mr. President. Why is her political song of 2017 lacking all of the bite that she had towards Bush? She should have plenty of ammunition against Trump to pull this off. If this song is proof of anything, it's that the Hot 100 may or may not get political over the next year. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think that these new songs will have half the amount of bite that the ones from the 2000s had. I blame part of that on the lack of rock music we've had over the last few years, but I blame most of it on the lack of guts these songs have had. Politics isn't an easy thing to talk about, especially when you're trying to give someone praise for their music, but if it doesn't take a risk, it hardly seems worth it. It especially doesn't help that most of these new political hits tend to be very uninteresting musically, and that just bugs the living hell out of me. I mean, if this is a sign of the times, then it could just go piss off. Oh crap, did I really just do that?
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We got.
Yeah, I did. Tally that up under painful transitions to a rank. Ugh. Okay, getting back to the matter at hand here. The premise of the song is about avoiding the reality of the world around you. But with lines like, why are we always stuck running from the bullets, I and several other people have related this song to what's going on in the world around us, and that includes politics. But even if you remove that and take the song as what Genius said it's supposed to be, I would argue that it still works. The situation in the song isn't ideal, which would account for the sad piano chords that we hear in the beginning of the song. The chorus then comes in with drums, bass, and guitars, and my god, I love it.
Just stop your crying.
It builds up the song effectively without ruining its pacing, which, for a song like this one, that actually fits. But I'll be honest here, if Harry Styles was the man behind the mic, I probably wouldn't like this as much as I do. Harry's voice is powerful, and his delivery on this song is just stellar. Whether we're listening to his controlled and beautiful falsetto or his monumental middle range, Harry Styles is front and center on this song, and he is killing it, especially on that outro.
We got to.
Gorgeous song, Harry. I hope we hear more from you. Number 4.
And come on in. I wanna feel the way that we did. I hope you're somewhere praying. I hope you saw this.
I've been rooting for this song ever since I first heard it. I remember last year seeing this Twitter hashtag called Free Kesha. Needless to say, once I looked into it, I immediately supported Kesha on it. So seeing her come back with a new hit song just felt rewarding, you know? Like, the universe was suddenly doing something right. I'm not a big fan of piano ballads, it usually takes me a lot to get into them, but Kesha does a good job with it here. The piano chords she plays at the beginning of the song set the tone perfectly for a soft-tempo ballad. The production then adds choir vocals and multi-tracking that begins to build the song up even further.
I hope you find your peace.
And just when I thought the song couldn't get any more powerful than it did, the second half of the second verse shows up and dear God, it doesn't work. We got more prominent strings playing, Kesha begins singing with much more raw power and emotion than before, and once the drums come in for the chorus, it hits even harder.
I hope you saw this changing.
And that bridge, like, I don't even believe in Jesus, but Christ.
Sometimes I pray for you and I.
That's one of the best bridges we've had all year, and it's only made better with the horns.
But some things only God can forget.
What really hits me about this song is not just the sincerity in it, but just Kesha's maturity. This is not just a woman who survived hell. This is a woman moving on and hoping her abuser is actually changing and hopes that he'll acknowledge that what he did was wrong. It's the perfect farewell to a haunting past, but it's also a genuine step forward to reclaiming her life. And you know what? It's absolutely gorgeous. NumberThree!
You do not that makes me A. I blew cool from ACA.
Still as good as when I first heard it. Not as good as DNA though.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Cocaine quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA.
Surprise! Absolutely no one. Sure, Humble was a good breath of fresh air, but DNA is my most played rap song of the year. It's also one of my favorite songs off of Damn, that alongside Duckworth and Love, and where Mike Will Made It definitely stepped up his production game with Humble, DNA is where he gave it his all. We got this hip-hop beat in the first half alongside a bass, plucking guitars, not to mention this thing that I believe is a distorted pad.
I just win again, then win again like Wimbledon I serve.
It all gives the song an ominous, intense tone, which fits the song well. This is especially true when Kendrick's pitch shifted and multi-tracked vocals come in, making the song increase in intensity while at the same time almost sounding aggressive.
Use a bitch, your hormones probably switch inside your DNA.
And from there we get the second half of the song and it is just fucking nuts.
Tell me something, you motherfuckers can't tell me nothing. I'd rather die than to listen to you.
The percussion and the bass become more heavy, and the rest of the production is filled with this chopped up sample from a live performance back in 1982. A song called Mary Jane by Rick James. It's particularly impressive because the second half of this song, Mike Will Made It had to produce around Kendrick's rapping, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. It's also surprising how well this works around Kendrick's rapping because this man is fucking pissed. The entirety of Kendrick's new album is incredibly blunt and doesn't hold back any punches. DNA is basically a lot of social commentary talking about what it's like to be an African American, both with the crime in the community and the struggle to survive in a rigged system. But it's also Kendrick defending himself and his artistry from those who couldn't understand where he came from, as well as overcoming it. Okay, before we get too far into this, let's back up a bit so you guys can understand what brought this about.
We gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright.
This is Alright, one of the lead singles from Kendrick's last album, To Pimp a Butterfly, a song he performed at the BET Awards back in 2015. It's a song that describes systemic racism, but its chorus says, "We gon' be alright." Whether this means persevering through this system or simply lying to oneself is completely up to interpretation. I know. What does this song have to do with anything? Well, everything actually. You guys remember this bit at the beginning of DNA?
On police brutality with that line in the song.
That is direct audio from a Fox newscast.
Rapper Kendrick Lamar raised some eyebrows last night when he opened the BET Awards singing on top of a vandalized cop car.
They go on to talk about Alright and specifically address this line.
And we hate po-po when the killer's dead in the street for sure.
Now, the specialists at Fox News had their own things to say about that, but at the second half of the song, there's a specific part of the broadcast that Kendrick points to. One that is so bad that even I got offended at hearing it.
This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years.
Let me just sum up what just happened there. Rivera just insulted an entire genre of music, a genre of music that was invented by African Americans, for the record, and he said that it has done more damage to the African American community than actual racism. Now, if Rivera said this about a rapper who was glorifying the gangsta lifestyle, then maybe, just maybe, I'd cut him a bit of slack here, but he said it about Kendrick Lamar while talking about a song that is addressing systemic racism. I don't know how people consider this a rational conclusion, and I can only imagine how insulted Kendrick was when he heard that.
Sex, money, murder, these are the breaks, these are the times. Level number 9, look up in the sky, tennis on.
You know, even if I didn't know the song's history, I would still love it all the same because it is so damn intense. And as I've said before, I love dark sounding music, so this combination works perfectly for me. Long live the king, may he have more hits to come.
Sex, money, murder, DNA.
Number 2!
To get to you, to get to you.
And the winner of the most obvious entry goes to...
There's nothing holding me.
Come on, you all saw this coming. Despite being my most played pop hit of the year, I actually have very little to add about this song. I've already expressed my love for the lyrics, the production, the bridge, as well as Mendes' vocal delivery. It's kind of pointless to repeat all the detail from 2 prior videos. So I'm just gonna play you my favorite moment in the song and call it a day. Now, a lot of you guys were anticipating that this would be my song of the year, and up until last month, you were right. However, listening to my top 5 over and over again, I found one song that I just could not justify putting below Shawn Mendes. But before we get to that, here are some honorable mentions and guilty pleasures.
In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you.
We let the sincere country love song rise to number 20 and then tank. All while Body Like a Back Road was in the top 10 for weeks. I don't get you people. The dirty laundry line stops the song from being great for me. Still like the sound of it. Incredible song, no questions asked, but where people will tell me that this is better than Feels, I can't very well agree because underexposure. I like this song. I like this song a lot, but I don't love it enough to put it on the list. I like this song, but the intro hurts my ears.
I wish I knew you when I was young.
This song was gonna be on the list, but then I realized I only sought out to listen to it 5 or 6 times.
You were staying in Paris to get away from your parents. You look so proud.
I'm not entirely sure what it is that makes me like this song. It sounds nice though, so that's enough for me, I guess. Yeah, it kinda shrunk on me. Still awesome. Broken vocals can be done, and they can be done well. Any new song with broken vocals has to do as well as this to get a pass from here on out, and I don't expect anyone to get close to it.
You stress me out, you kill me, you drag me down.
This is actually very good. If Louis was on it a bit more than BB Rexa, I might have put it on the list. Repite conmigo, la versión original es mejor que el remix.
You are not the single type, so baby this the perfect time.
I love this song in its entirety, but man did it have some steep competition. This song should have been a bigger hit, it really should have. I'm not a huge Paramore fan, but this is one of the songs I was rooting for this year. It's a song I can always go to if I feel down, and it deserved better. Okay, I think that's enough. Back to the list.
I've been running through the jungle, I've been crying with the wolves to get
Number 1.
to you, to get to you.
When picking the number 1 song of a given year for the best list especially, we critics tend to go on these somewhat longer tangents to try and explain why the song we chose is so important to us. I particularly feel the need to do this because I'm prone to pick not so obvious choices for my number 1, plus the song I usually pick is not a very popular pick, so I'm more than a little nervous when I try to talk about it. I'm not gonna do that this year though, because what got this song above Kesha, Kendrick, and even Shawn Mendes came down to 2 things. a well-told story, and pure sense of nostalgia. So, who could do that?
Please welcome the incredible Ed Sheeran.
I've been waiting months to talk about this.
I'm on my way, driving at 90 down low.
This should have been Ed's biggest hit. It really should have. With how many people hated 7 Years last year, I don't think anybody anticipated getting another hit the following year with the same subject, but with better instrumentation, lyrics, and vocal delivery. I don't think anyone expected to have a rock edge or to crack the top 5 either, but I'm not complaining. One of my favorite classic rock songs is Scenes from an Italian Restaurant by Billy Joel. One of the reasons I like it so much is because of its imagery, storytelling, as well as dialogue. The narrator is literally telling stories of years gone by, small snapshots of what's already happened. And where Castle on the Hill doesn't have any bits of dialogue, it does have the imagery and narration it needs for Ed to tell his stories. He sets the scene with small, intricate details of what happened while he was growing up, and I can imagine all of it.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg.
When Ed talks about how he broke his leg, I can see the scene in full. The setting feels alive, and I'm immersed the second the song starts. Actually, there is one thing that sets this song apart from songs like 7 Years and Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. You see, where Ed is reminiscing about days gone by, he's doing it for a very specific reason. He's going to see his friends again.
I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way.
Oh, and for how much I love Shawn Mendes' raspy blues-style vocals, he's got nothing on Ed Sheeran's pipes.
And I miss the way you make me feel.
With the exception of DNA, every song in my top 5 have these gorgeous bridges to them, and yeah, Castle on the Hills is definitely my favorite. Ed begins talking about where his friends are in present day, with plucking guitars, strong drums, piano keys, piercing synths, and gospel vocals to create build-up to the final chorus. And just to add to that, most of the musical elements actually stop, giving the song a moment of silence before Ed comes back in, kicking the song into high gear for one final climax.
Country lanes, when we did not know the answers.
It's just beautiful. I love every second of this song. I'm so glad it got as big as it did. And I am proud to call it my best hit song of 2017. Signing off the Music Den, I'm Kumerai Fang, and the top 10 worst and best songs released in 2017 are coming soon. Thanks for watching!
Over the cars, so lonely.